got a right to be hostile while living in a land they call free. Home of the greedy, creating crime and poverty. How do we fight hate with love for hate? Yeah, while we debate, we see oppression that escalates. The government is so fascist, exploiting the masses, and better off inside of a casket, cause that would be the day you see the whole world glad. Uncle Sam zipped up in a body bag. Until that day all the oppressed are waiting to see the final chapter of the greatest Satan. Cause I could go on throughout America's history, presenting to the people answers to all the mysteries and conspiracies that you never told. And watch your eyes open while the truth unfolds. I'm talking about bloodlines that lead you to where you find who got the money from slavery, cause those crimes to all humanity created insanity and genocide for many nationalities. America's present and past could never be erased. Mass murder on the basis of race. So fuck that Sam, don't try to come with a handshake. Talking with a smile, but we know that it's all fake. Cause you can't escape all the years of straight hate and rape. And the oppressed will never trust the United Snakes. And the oppressed will never trust the United Snakes. You gotta watch who you put your trust in, especially your enemy that acts like a friend. Cause if you're not watching your back, you get bit by the snake and find you made a big mistake. You got the venom and you're feeling the symptoms, believing every word you heard from the system. It won't take long, the poison entered your bloodstream, and now you're off believing the American dream. You wanna be like the elite by having lots of big cash. Do anything for greed because you want the cash fast. Your life is centered on material things, money and greed and many things you don't need. You're blind, you find your time living for money, dealing for money, you're fucking killing for money. You're never satisfied with all the money you got. Even though you got a lot, you still scheme and plot to try to make more cash, but it won't last. Your time is up, you screw somebody for a couple of bucks and got more quick with your search for money out of control. Now you're dead inside a 6-foot hole, and that's the way it is inside the land of temptation. Another person dies in the greediest nation. Complete manipulation by some men in suits while you partaking the forbidden loot from the United Snakes. While you partaking the forbidden loot from the United Snakes.
Inhumanity, murder, brutality, and racial hatred. It is absolutely at the bottom of the list.
Damn, another snake's pay while genocide takes millions of lives and the elite make alibis. Cause now they got the world at 12 million with the deadly virus inside them that's gonna kill them. Another form of genocide. The epidemic's killing Africans while pointing the finger at gays. Straight Americans are fucking and sucking and fucking deceit. Would it be hard to believe AIDS is a man-made disease? Could you put it past the devil or the beast of the earth? But that's been causing missions since the date of his birth. That's why Power's on a mission. We're on a mission. We're on a mission. All you listeners listening, just in case you've been trusting the United Snakes with this the real race. We're about to give you an update. A white male and world domination for so long. So much misinformation you don't know what's going on. Remember those taken from Africa and subdued for 400 years of destructive servitude. And all those years of being slaves with no pay made America the richest in the world today. So this is what created the upper class and underclass. All the bullshit that went down in the past, affecting how you're living now with years of disrespect. The government neglects the demand for a paycheck to compensate for all the hate from a high-tech whip, beating second-class citizenship and shit into the black man and anyone brown man. The Native American getting stripped from their homeland. So why be patriotic when this land is stolen? You can't count the amount of all the treaties broken. So it's your decision on what side you take. The oppressor, the creator of hate, the United Snakes. So it's your decision on what side you take. The oppressor, the creator of hate, the United Snakes. criminal, you can hear Sam laugh. Millions get slaughtered while he's dwelling in a bloodbath. Murder rates rise until we finally stop the death machine and put a final end to this oppressive regime. From feudalism to capitalism, imperialism, fascism, mindless materialism, using the tactics of genocide, divide and conquer and dominate, corrupt, manipulate for profit's sake. Why pledge allegiance to a flag symbolizing greed, death, hate, violence, and destruction to all it breeds? As we debate solutions, nothing's done in the pressure bills. How can we prevent a lot of lives from being killed? These are just some questions you should ask yourself. Why do so few possess all the wealth? The television is played, corporations get paid, while 60,000 people will starve today. 20 million a year and you cheer on New Year's. Focus on yourself and your career. Still dreaming the American dream, the nightmare of confusion. Stop and reject the illusion, cause saying nothing means saying yes to a system that uses death to oppress and repress, still killing by the millions anything that's living, victims of the system, the death machine.
We'll do everything in our power to protect that vested interest. It's just as simple as that.
Death and murder, so much murder and death, so many killings, there's no feelings, they teach minds to be mindless. Consciously or subconsciously you will have seen 500,000 murders on screen by age 15. The patriarchal system teaches males to compete while showing no respect for women like they're pieces of meat. This is the way the male is nurtured to violate and dominate. That's why so very often there are forcible rapes, and of all the women murdered, every 9 out of 10 die at the hands of all these violent men that are breeded and created by a system that protects itself by blaming the victim. Meanwhile the death machine is still working OT. Today 5,000 people got HIV, so that's more death to be calculated, more murder that's tabulated. When we see it's no coincidence and it's death related. Sam contributes serving death on the plate, where the flesh of an animal is produced for taste. A waste of the environment, the animals and millions unfed that could have lived but are dead. Believe it or not, the whole world could be fed and then some, cause there's enough food for everyone. But those in control have made a system that's so extreme, with no respect for life. This regime is a death machine.
This country operates on violence.
The United States of America is dedicated to keeping you and I second-class citizens. The United States of America.
So much corruption in this agency.
The United States of America.
The psychology of fear.
Quit torturing your people.
The United States of America.
It's scared to death.
Continued white domination.
The United States of America.
Lynching had been an ordinary story.
The United States of
I
America.
promise to keep the left under control and to protect U.S. interests.
They had to prove that they were superior.
The war on drugs is a war on the underclass. Money for pigs and more prisons is a waste of cash. The government's energy simply ain't where it ought to be. If so, there'd be a war on poverty. Cause poverty and dope go hand in hand. Likewise, the analogy supply and demand. Insane plans to get the people broke and powerless, continuing a cycle of death that'll manifest. The most deadly addictions in America are tobacco and alcohol, taking more lives than all other but illegal drugs such as crack cocaine, heroin, LSD, or Mary Jane. You can't see a hypocrisy, so many lies and myths to cover up conspiracy, and they'll use any means to remain supreme, the fuel behind the hideous crimes of the death machine. Programmed, trained, and educated to follow, to ask no questions, to believe what you are told. The truth may be dangerous if heard too often. We enter the 21st century, divided, uncertain what the future may hold. So powerless in a world controlled by so few. What can you do? Driven by modern capitalism, every individual for themselves. Survival of the fittest, competition, win, destroy your enemy, your opponent, be number one. Just like in America, right? On top of the fucking world. Remember, all you need to do is get a good ass job, a career, make lots of money, buy lots of fun toys, consume, get a car, own a luxurious home, wear the latest fashion or trend, Watch television, live above and beyond what you really need. Most importantly, waste your fucking time, your life, just as they want you to. Besides, you deserve it, you're free. Yeah, and this is America. You are merely a product of the cultural, social, and celebrity elite who set all of your standards. And no, of course, you're not a zombie or not at all brainwashed. You are of sound mind, while millions die and fall victim to the unnecessary wars, disease, starvation, and many other atrocities caused and created by your faithful leaders. So go on, ignore the genocide, ignore the 14 million people expected to have HIV in America by the year 2000. Ignore crime, poverty, violence, rape, and the murder of women. Ignore the false media, those locked in prison, capital punishment. Ignore police brutality, FBI, CIA murder. Ignore decent housing, healthcare, education. Ignore safe and healthy food. And try not to think about the murder and mass production of animals for slaughter. Ignore the environment, toxic waste and contamination, pesticides, the trees, land, water, and air. Ignore the government's drug trafficking and illegal activities around the globe. Ignore the plight of the poor everywhere, the loss of culture, heritage, tradition. Ignore the weapons of mass destruction. And most importantly, ignore the revolution. Cause when it comes, you'll be the first to die. Wake up! You're out of control! Wake up! You're out of control! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!